You're right. We're all
underneath,
Star Wars
not.
nerds. No one's cool. No one's cool.
Okay.
Right? We love
I like that.
Star Wars. It's like we're not cool, and that's okay. Give me like a Jyn Erso, or you give me like a Santa Starros, or you give me like even like Pink Milk, guys. Calm down.
It's Lucasfilm's woke agenda again.
This is Red 5. I'm going in. I'm going in. Going in.
Jedi, like my father before me.
Hello there, and welcome to Pink Milk, where we serve Star Wars queerly. Welcome to this fantastic little bonus of an episode with our friend, the lady that made Pink Milk canon. That's right. Pink Milk is canon, and you'll find out what it tastes like straight from the source herself, Justina Ireland, here in just a little while. Can you believe it? She said yes to this dude twice. I got her on last year, and then she came back because we had to talk all things Santa Starros, because Santa Starros is now the titular character of her very own book, written by our friend of the show, Justina Ireland, and she is such a lovely, lovely lady. It was illustrated by Perry Perez and with colors by J. David Ramos. So it's a great book. I hope you check it out if you have not done so already, as we discuss here, because there are spoilers. So if you're going to read the book and you don't want any spoilers, don't listen yet. If you haven't read the book and still want to listen, please do, but also go to your local comic shop and buy the book, because it's great. It's a family drama, and drama filled and action packed. It is, and it has vats upon vats upon vats of glorious pink milk that Santa had no interest in drinking. In my mind, though, she circled back to it and had some later, but she was a little busy. Anyways, thank you so much for everyone who has made pink milk anything that it is, and now thank you, Justina, for having pink milk be canon. Galaxy's Edge, we'll be seeing you soon. One thing I want to ask all of you, if you have not done so already, because I know a lot more people listen than have left a review, but I would really, really appreciate it if you have not done so and you're listening to this now, to maybe hit the pause button and head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a written review. Apple Podcasts is by far our number one source of streaming. So even if you are not listening to us there right now, I would love it if you could take the time to head over there, because it really is where most people listen. And Mandalorian is coming out very soon at the time of this recording. And Mandalorian is when we, outside of Pride Month, have our biggest download numbers, because if I do say so myself, we have great Mandalorian conversations, and we speak to that show in a way that I don't hear a lot of other shows speaking to. And so I would really appreciate the help of a written review, because they go much farther in Apple's algorithm, but it would help us get in more ears right before The Mandalorian. So if you could do that for me, I would love you forever. I will anyways. But it really does help the show grow, and I would really, really, really appreciate it, because without you, we can't do that. So, anywho, and without Justina, Pink Milk wouldn't be canon. So, again, thank you, Justina. And you want to listen to Justina blabber, because she can blabber, and it just sounds beautiful, and she's brilliant. So, I'm going to stop blabbering so you can listen to her blabber. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's drink up. Hello there, Justina. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
No, thank you. You are lovely, and I'm very excited that you said yes again.
How could I not?
Well, let me tell you, I was very nervous that I botched our last one. I was so nervous. You were like, I get very, I try to pretend like I'm cool, calm, and collected, but
We're all
underneath or
Star
maybe
Wars
not.
nerds. No one's cool. No one's cool,
Okay,
right? We love
I like
books and
that.
Star Wars. It's like we're not cool, and that's okay. Like we still have good times. So
That's true. I do love it. And before we hit the record button, Justina broke some toy news to me because I am not exactly a toy person. Also, she showed me my age because cool vintage retro Star Wars or Power of the Force from the 90s. Um, not my 10 or 11 Star Wars ones. But anyways, I had no idea that Mace Windu ever had a blue lightsaber. And there is a toy hiding back there with a blue lightsaber. And I'm very excited. So I was like, I was schooled by a Lucasfilm person like before record even hit. It's, exciting.
you can't keep up with all the toys. There's so many toys. There's like toys on toys on toys. So
Yep. Especially I think it really started Attack of the Clones.
yeah.
That was when I was still trying to buy toys and I had never seen so many Jedi in my entire life and I was like I must have them all and I don't think I ever did. And I'm still stuck in like 1982 with Walrus Man and a Hammerhead. Those are the names I still have. Snaggletooth. I am. So I'm very impressed with all of you High Republic creators and lovelies with that cast. That is like I don't know. That's amazing. It's impressive.
It is. I guess it's weird when you're in it because when you're in it, it's just like you're in it, right? Like
Okay, yeah. Like you've been there from the beginning, so they probably are all like they're all right there, right? And
yeah.
easy to. I have my book from Kristen Baver, my art book, so I
Oh,
can
with
like
the
flip
links,
through.
like how everyone connects to them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I am not good on the internet of like I can't read and also pull up internet things. Like I need a physical book to
Oh
look
yeah, yeah.
through. Otherwise it just doesn't stick
Oh,
the same way.
don't be worried about that. Like I totally forget that characters exist all the time, especially if they've not been in my books. And sometimes when they are in my books, so they're like, "Oh, remember you had this character?" I'm like, "Who?" And it's like a throwaway character. And you're like, I guess like that was like 5 books ago. Like I don't know. Yeah, so like it's actually kind of fun. It's like we have all this like documentation behind it, right? So that we keep track. But then yeah, sometimes you're just like, who was that? Wasn't there a character? And then you go to everybody else and everyone's like, oh, I think so. And like one person's like, oh yeah, I just used them or whatever. So yeah, so it's like if you need a cheat sheet or like the Christian Baver like Art of High Republic book, like yeah, I totally
Go
get
to
it.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, I have it on my coffee table because sometimes I'm like, whose arc did we not pay off yet? Who could I use?
Also, who's still alive?
Yeah, right. Oh no, I did.
Oh, so we are here. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about High Republic because High Republic is great. We are what the first third through phase 2,
Phase
right?
two's only got two releases, so we're halfway through phase 2.
Halfway, or okay, boom.
Yeah, and then I think the
Ah,
YA anthology that's kind of the bridge between phase 2 and 3 comes out in the fall. I lose track of release dates because they always get shifted because there's still like those supply chain issues with like books and printing and paper and most of that stuff is done in China and who knows where we'll be with China in 6 months. Like everything feels like very chaotic. And so like I do know that I have turned in a draft of something for phase 3 that has not yet been announced.
okay.
But that's
So
about all I know of where we. But I do know that when Cav's book comes out, which I think it comes out in May, Path of Vengeance, that'll be the end of phase 2. Phase 2.
okay. Oh God, are we gonna be depressed again?
I don't
Probably.
think so.
Okay.
I think we were kind of like where Tess and I were set up to gut everybody this time, and poor Cav, poor Cav has a bad rap. So I think
Well, I'm sure.
I just not kill anybody for a minute because I would really like to not be the cause of everyone's ire.
I'm sure Amazon appreciated all of it and their influx of Kleenex subscription, the reorder subscription that you can hit on Amazon for that. We are here to talk about Santa Starros #1,
Yes!
Family Matters, and I'm very excited to let's get back to basics. We are in How was that? Was that good?
Yeah, nice.
Um,
Nice. I feel
to a timeline that we're all very familiar with in Star Wars. So, first I have to say thank you because Pink Milk is now canon. Thanks to you. I was a blubbering, crying fool. Someone slid up into my DMs. It was very lovely. It was like an early Christmas present. And I take this stuff so seriously. I didn't even tell my children until it happened because I'm like, oh, what's going to happen is they're going to be on the playground at school and let it slip to somebody, and then it's going to get back to you somehow, and I will have been a
that would be
disappointment.
fine. Yeah, it's it's like the kids are saying there's pink milk, and it would have been on some YouTube channel, and they would have
Mhm.
been like, "It's debunked. There's leaks from Lucasfilm. Pink milk, guys, calm down."
It's
Um,
it's Lucasfilm's woke agenda again.
yeah. Well, you sent out a tweet, and this was back when I was still on Twitter because I have since left. And you said, "I wish pink milk was canon, and I wish like this cute little creature like was the one who made it." And it was like some creature from was it from Rebels or Clone Wars? I think the
Rebels.
Rebels, yeah. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, pink milk should be canon, and it should be pretty easy. And I love starting a comic. Like when I read a comic, I want to start in media res and some action. I
Okay.
hate when I get like the 3 pages of an issue number 1, and it's just backstory of a character, and it's like, come on, guys! Like I like give me the character, on the worst day of their life or the best day of their life, and I'll automatically know who
Yep.
they are. And so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, she has to be stealing something. I'm like, it would be hella funny if it was just gallons and gallons of milk, right? Because no one thinks they're going to go into like an imperial warehouse and it's going to be milk and the creatures who make this milk. And so like I was just like, and then I was like, when I was writing the script, Perry did such a great job designing those little creatures, because I was like, I wanted to be a cross between like a capybara and like, I can't remember, I gave him something else, and he came up with these very adorable little, and I was like, perfect. And I was like, more legs. You're like Perry's just a fantastic artist. And so it was like, I was really happy. And so I was like, well, I didn't want to say anything to you because I like to give people a heads up when like something that's like important to them is going to be in
Yeah.
because it's you don't want to think someone stole something from you, but I want to be like, hey, look, I dropped this in for you. I hope you enjoy it, kind of thing. But I didn't know if it would make it through, clearance and everything. And when we got the issue 1 and it was in there, and I was like, and plus also getting that particular shade of like Nesquik pink was like so hard. Like when it first came out,
Sure.
it was like radioactive. I'm like, we don't want this to look like it's gonna kill someone. Like, we want people to enjoy the pink milk. The pink milk's delicious, delightful, and it's gonna make your day, right? And so yeah, so like it was a lot of fun. It was one of my favorite parts of that comic. So
Well,
I'm
it
glad
was
it
very
made it
touching.
through.
Thank you. It was amazing. And it's in like with right along with the queer icon in Star Wars. I mean, come on. It could not be any more perfect. So we were guessing on a live stream when the book came out on February 1st, right?
Yeah. It seems like
Yeah.
a lifetime ago is what you mean. Yeah. It was a week, but whatever.
Yeah, balloons were still safe in our era a week ago, I feel like. We were trying to guess what it tasted like. I'm saying Fruity Pebbles because I also think if it's, gay milk, let's just call it a fruit and make some people mad because why not? But to you, what would pink milk taste like?
I think Fruity Pebbles would be. I was thinking it would be a fruity. I tried the blue and green milk at Galaxy's Edge, and yeah, I did not care.
I was here for the blue milk.
I was like, what are these flavors? I think like one was like, I don't know. Sometimes when your mouth doesn't know what things are supposed to taste like, it just fills in for your brain. And for me, they just tasted like melon, which is not my favorite flavor. So like, I was just like, so for me, like, I think pink milk, I think Fruity Pebbles is probably a good analog. Also, when you eat Fruity Pebbles, a lot of times the milk, depending on your ratio of reds to other colors, it's a little pink anyway. So
I like that.
But what I would really like it to start to taste like, and this is a deep cut. I don't know if you remember. Well, you're about the same age, I think, as me. Do you remember the Smurf cereal from the 80s? The Smurf cereal. That's what I would like it to taste like, because that was my favorite cereal as a kid. And people are like, well, my husband's always like, it's the Crunch Berries are the same flavor. I'm like, they are not the same flavor. It was this blueberry, raspberry, berry flavor that never existed in nature. And so I would love it to taste like.
Okay, you know what? I'm here for that. They're blue, so blue
Yes.
people work well in Star Wars. Also, I'm about 3 apples tall, so that's I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, yeah, there we go. Smurf cereal. It'll be a deep cut. Um, we'll call it like Puffette or something like that.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, no, the milk at the Galaxy's Edge. I have to tell you, the blue milk I was here for. The green milk, I wanted to pretend like I was here for it because I didn't want to say I didn't like it and then just be considered a sequel hater, and it was Ryan Johnson's fault that it didn't
Yeah.
taste well.
I'm sure
But it
Ryan
was
Johnson was in the lab, like, no, make it more melony, the green milk. I invented
well,
that whole thing.
it did. There was like a hint of patchouli in it or something, like pine needle, something that was just not
Yeah.
for me.
I had the same thing. We went to the cantina and I had like what was basically a fuzzy navel with like the fuzzy tauntaun or whatever. And I was just
Uh-huh.
like, they had like those exploding things. And I was like, I should have just got the blue wine because like it's just my mouth doesn't like not knowing what it's eating. Like I'm just like so I'm so old. Like that I'm just like I want to know what I'm getting. I'm like at least halfway through my revolutions on this planet. So like I don't want to waste any of my life and stuff. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. So yeah, so I feel like I feel like it's for the kids. I felt the same way about butterbeer. Like the one time we went to Universal Studios, like my kid loved the butterbeer, and I was like, "What is this? It's like cream soda and vomit." Like it was, it was not good. I was like, not for it. So.
Do you remember when we were 21 for sure? Because we would never drink children. I would never have had a drink before I was legal age.
Mm.
And you're a berry now when you're listening to this in the future, and you have to be 35 before you can have alcohol. But do you remember the shots that were like, I think it was like Kahlua and maybe it was peach schnapps.
Oh
And when you would
God,
mix
no!
it would like coagulate.
I skipped that
Oh,
part of my life.
God.
Oh no, we used to,
You know what?
drink like the little kamikazes, which were like that Midori melon liqueur and something else. I don't know. Like I just remember like every time someone was like, "Let's get shots," I was like, "That's a bad idea." I said
Mhm.
yes more often than I probably should have, but like I just remember like I was just talking to my husband. Do you remember when everyone used to drink the Jolly Ranchers, like the Jolly Rancher
Yep.
shots, which is I'm like, dude, just give me like a glass of dry wine or maybe like a beer and that's it. Like, it's just funny how you're like when I was a kid, I used to love like Starbucks, like coffee drinks, like like the caramel macchiato was like my go-to. And now I'm like, I just want a cup of black coffee. I don't want anything in it. I just want pure coffee.
Isn't that the truth?
My grumpy
Man.
taste buds are just like,
We get boring when we get older. That's what happens.
I got like 3 taste buds left, right? They all have strong opinions.
Oh, that's true. We do like strong opinions. And I feel like Santa Starros probably has strong opinions too. She is she's a bit of a I don't know if I want to say she's grumpy.
She is grumpy. She's
But
grumpy.
but
She just doesn't have any patience for BS, and that's what I love about the character. Is like she is always the straight woman, but not in the not in
Uh-huh.
the identity sense. But like she's the center of a chaos storm. When we see her with Afro, when we see her with Han and Leia, she's just kind of there, and she's just like, "Yeah, man, I'm just here to get the job done. Like, keep all your
Yeah.
ass over there."
Well, I think she's so great with Afro because she is that like straight person.
Yeah.
Like that is my husband and I to the T. Like except for like my outside the house husband.
Yeah.
Inside the house husband, he's just as wackadoo as I am. I only know how to just be wackadoo no matter where I am. Which is kind of like Afra. Afra has those vibes, I think. What was it like to write for Santa? Because this is the first time she's had her own book. This is like her real voice for the first time. She's been handled by other writers before.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get to kind of set the stage for, no, this is really who she is off on her own. And that will hopefully be carried along as we see her in cross books and all that later. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I think we always have that version of ourselves that we see with other people, right? So like, this version of me talking with you is probably not the version my kid gets, right? They will say I'm a completely different person. Same with my husband. And so I do like peeling back the layers of that character. But what I really did is I went back and I read all of Alyssa Wong's Afro run up into to what we have, even some couple of scripts of stuff that hadn't come out yet when I started drafting, just because Alyssa has done such a great job, like building up Santa and giving Santa sort of more of a characterization instead of just like that stereotypical put fill in the blanks kind of scoundrel. I went back and listened to the Afra audio drama. Actually, I think I read it. I can't remember. It's like there's so much Star Wars in this brain. Like it's just kind of it's just like Star Wars too. And I went that too because I'll be honest, like I didn't really like Santa in that first original run where she was like put up as like Han's wife because it just seemed like, oh, let's give us a black woman to be a bad foil to this relationship we know is going to last, right? And so like you're going to introduce someone as an interloper, and of course it's a black woman. There's a connotation there, and I get that like things have moved forward since then, but I didn't care for it, and it wasn't the character herself. It was like I just didn't like the way she had been brought into the galaxy, and so like the things that other authors have done with her have really kind of gave me this idea. I'm like, where does she come from? Like we've seen some of like her, her ancestors with Qi'ra and Avon Starros, but like they're affluent, and we know that Sana grew up on Nar Shaddaa. Like that doesn't say affluent to me, right? Like let's grow up on a den of scum and villainy, right? So like I think like I wanted to see like who are her people, and so I just kept seeing like this kind of like when you look at families who kind of lost their honor, or families who've kind of descended from a place of like of power or money or affluence, and then like who are they today? And so I was like, man, it'd be awesome if she just had a family of scoundrels, like of just people who have a moral code that doesn't necessarily align with the rest of the galaxies and are very good at what they do individually. And so I wanted to give Santa, who is kind of like this very, contained character, this big, messy family of messy people. And we see, like, I think when you see someone's family, you understand why they're with the people they're with, right? Like, if you come from a family that's very quiet and reserved, you're probably going to try to, like, find somebody who's quiet and reserved, to partner with. If you come from a family who's loud and messy, that's probably what you're going to gravitate as well. And so I, basically gave Santa a family of Afros, but with a moral code.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. A slight spoiler. I mean, honestly, don't listen to this until you've read the book. Go buy the book. Go to
I'm just
pick it up.
Point, yeah.
I was living when they have a tapestry hanging up on a wall, and it's like you think of a tapestry on someone's wall, and it's this heirloom or something very expensive, something with history. Nope. It's a secret bomb, just in case somebody else raid your house.
Just a tapestry and napalm.
It was so good. Like, how... I mean, so as a writer, do you just get these ideas somewhere, like you're walking down a museum and you see a rug, you're like, oh my God, that'd be great if it blew up. And then you just like have a little mental check, and then one day you're going to need it? Is that how? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly how my brain works. It's awful. Like I have in my phone, I carry my phone with me everywhere like most people do, but I have notes. I have so many notes of just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this? Or, hey, how about a story about this? And it's just, when I die, if somebody goes to my phone, they're gonna be like, this woman was unhinged. Like literally nothing. It's just like, what if, we had, cars that did this or something. It's just like, like Death Race 2000, but make it gay. Like that's like the kind of stuff that I have in my phone. And like, that's actually a note in my phone. Because if you've ever read it, it's fantastic. But anyway, so like, it's just one, and I mean the original one with the Carradines, not the reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I think you have to, I think if you're a writer, you know very quickly that you're a writer because you tend to look at the world in a way that's kind of askew. I think the same thing with probably directors and artists and people who are creative, because you go out and you're like, I live through stuff, and when things suck, my thing isn't like, oh, it sucks, I can't believe it sucks. I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is going to be a great story later. Right. And that's like just how, like, I go to a museum. I'm like, what if a tapestry like caught on fire? Like, what would that be? That'd be cool. Like, what would it look like if like you let your house go to, like, a lot of the stuff in the details in Santa's house are called up in the script because I bought an old rambly Victorian, and like literally there's ivy growing up in between my siding, and we have to keep ripping it
Mhm.
out. But I'm like, oh my gosh, if you have a giant house on like this watery planet, like all this tropical foliage is just going to come into your house if you can't maintain it, right? So it's
Yep.
just like your brain is always going, and I just for in this case it's really fun to work in comics because it's more visual than prose. In prose, sometimes these ideas don't work because it's too much to explain, and in the explanation it loses the magic. But then sometimes in comics, because it's just a visual, you can use
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, how does that work for you? In working with an artist like Pere Perez, who does really a beautiful job, and
Um,
Jay's colors are great. I love color. I'm a colorist. I'm very glad they're finally getting a little more representation and importance in comics. um, this is such a powerful part of the storytelling.
yeah,
Like, how does that work? I'm looking at like, I am not the Star Wars nerd who knows. Like, I can't look at someone's lightsaber hilt and say, "Oh, that's so and so's." I can't look at a blaster and
me
like
either.
name. I'm not that okay. But there's like we get into the Star Wars' little armory, and like those Star Wars nerds are so well fed in that one panel. There are
That
so
was
many
all.
guns.
That was all Perry. That was all Perry.
Okay.
That was like they have an armory. There's some new stuff and some old stuff. And Perry was like, I got this. Yeah. So, I mean, like, so how it works is I write a script. I usually call out the important things in the script. But for the most part, I don't like, and every writer is different. If you read different scripts, I don't like to be too prescriptive in my art notes, just because I want to give the artist some freedom, some creative freedom, right? They're still creative folks as well, and they still have an idea of how they want to see things. And Perry is a huge Star Wars fan. In fact, this probably isn't really a spoiler, but we see for issue 3, I think it's already been released, Santa riding a Rancor. And so that was definitely like Perry was like, "Do you think you can work a Rancor in the script?" I'm like, "I got just the spot, right?" Like, and so like I do think it's important to give the artists like their freedom and their so like a lot of this like those small details in there, it's stuff that Perry was like, "Hey, do you mind if I throw this in there?" I'm like, "Nah, go for it," because it's amazing. It's like it's going to make the artist more excited to draw the art if they feel like
Mhm.
they are getting to put their own mark on it. Like nobody wants to show up and just punch widgets for 3 hours, right? And I think
Yep.
if you're overly prescriptive in your script, then what happens is the artist doesn't have any room to interpret stuff. And to be honest, like Perry's layouts are always better than what I'm imagining. So for me, I've read a lot of comics since I was a kid. I was the kid in the grocery store who, like, when they used to have the spindles of comics, like my mom would go grocery shopping because I couldn't afford to buy them. My mom would go grocery shopping and I would just sit there and read everything. I mean, I read everything. Like, and I
Mhm.
loved Archie's, but like, I also loved G.I. Joe and X-Men and like, stuff I didn't understand what was happening, right? Because I missed the 20 issues
Yeah.
beforehand, right? I just read it all. And so um, I always see scenes in my brain. Like even when I'm writing prose, I have to be able to see a scene. If I can't see a scene, sometimes I'll just leave a block note of like, this is what's going to happen here, and then I'll go on to the next thing that I can see, because if I can't see it, I can't help the reader to see it. And so
Yep.
for comic book scripts, it's great because I can see it, but then I get to really see it. And when we get the art back, small notes. For the most part, Perry has been able to like take what I'm in say and sees it too. And that's what's been really great about working with Perry is it's just like it's pretty effortless. Like Perry's layouts. Oh my gosh, there are some. I'm so excited for issues 2 and 3, and we're working on 4 right now. And just like Perry is able to take like a simple scene and just give it so much. So like I cannot take credit for a lot of how awesome the comic is, just because Perry is really working magic with the layouts. So
Love it. I
yeah,
love it. Um, yeah, there is so much family in this, and his artwork really is very evocative of this, and I love it with your words because I love uh Thea. How do you say it? Thea?
I
Thea?
say yeah,
Thea?
yeah.
Thea? Thea.
Yeah.
Okay. How Grammy's
I'm
like,
never going to correct anybody's pronunciation on names
okay.
because I regularly mispronounce words. So,
Okay.
so like,
I like it.
as long as
I'm
I'm
the
the
same way.
cross, yeah,
I love the line if you're only here when your heart's broken, and
yeah,
there's like this a little bit of animosity of not coming around enough unless you need something, which is every parent ever with
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I mean, like, how many times your grandma like, what do you want now? Why are you just now calling me? Why don't you call? Why don't you talk? Right? Yeah.
But I love how, and this is something that I love comics. Comics are one of my personal favorite mediums of anything because you get two people, and he illustrated them with such warmth, and then it was really the subtext of what you had written in text, and it worked really really well. I thought it was a beautiful little a language there of their relationship and their dynamics, because I think writing families like that can be difficult because they could be unlikable very easily, if it's not treated with respect, which, credit to you and your artist to nail that out of the park. Because Afra, I think, I really love Afra. I mean, as a queer person, I feel like we almost not have to, but like we respect, but we also have to, because she was like the first for us in a lot of. But
Yeah.
sometimes under certain writers, for me, she's not as likable. Sometimes I think the Deadpooliness of her can go a little extreme for me, and I like because I never like Afra, but I like it when I don't like Afra, but I understand Afra and I can have fun with her. But I don't think Afra and I would be friends in real life. But that's great. Like we're Santa, I think I could be friends with her.
You could be friends, but you'll find a blaster in your back at some point because it's
Yeah.
like, I bet inevitably I had to turn on you. And you're like, oh yeah, that's how it's going.
But I've never felt that way about Santa because I feel like she is such a straight shooter that I'm like, I know exactly where I stand with her in the moment. And I feel like she's the kind of person who can be mad at you for a second and then move on. But you know what? You're a jerk, but I like you anyways, and we'll move on. Whereas, Afra, I don't feel that way with her necessarily. I don't know. This is a 5-parter according to Wikipedia. Are we going to
Yes.
get more?
Yes.
Okay.
We're 5
Is
parts.
more possibly coming?
I think so. I think everything is possible. I know I've turned in the script for number 5, and I hopefully have paid off all the things that I've set up and given Santa a lovely arc and complicated and messy and emotionally fulfilling and all the things we want stories to be. So that's what I know right now. If it's
Love it.
more, if we get to do more, I would love to do more. If we don't get to do more, I'll be happy with what I did get to do. So I think that's, for me as a writer, like I got advice once upon a time from another writer who was like, don't ever hold anything back, right? Like all your ideas, all the things you want to do them when you have a chance. Don't try to save stuff for the future. So if we do get to write more, I have to figure out what the hell we're doing because I did all the things I wanted to do in these 5 issues. So yeah.
That's awesome. How did this opportunity come to you?
Just like everything else Star Wars, it's kind of like, I mean, like I've said before, like once you're in Star Wars, it's kind of like the mob, like you're in. And I think a lot of it's because it's like Lucasfilm likes a known quantity. And so I got an email last spring, I think, from Mark Panecchia, and was like, "Hey, do you want to write send a Starros?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I do!" Like, he's like, "It'd be a 5-issue mini," and I was like, "Yeah, sign me up." And so then I once you like accept the offer, you turn in like a kind of like an outline, an overview of like everything that's going to happen. Now, my outlines are always made of lies because they're only like the broadest of strokes of things that are going to happen. Because once I get into drafting, I realize I'm like, oh, this is boring, or oh, I need an action beat here. So like I turned that in, and then we started drafting, and I was just, I was really thankful we got Perry, because sometimes you get an artist that doesn't fit this kind of story you want to tell. But I knew very quickly from the bat that I wanted something that was fun and like still like emotionally satisfying. Because I mean, that's my favorite part of Afra is really the humor Alyssa has brought to like the character.
Yep.
And a lot of those sight gags and stuff like that. So I think there's some points where we're gonna get maybe a little zany, like a little, like and it's just fun because it's like when you have such a straight shooter like Santa, like you do want the things to be going on around her kind of a little on the verge, right? You're like, how, this is ridiculous. This is, why does this keep happening to this poor woman? And so, yeah, so like, I do think it's great because like you mentioned it before, but Perry is really great at nailing those emotional moments and the feeling. Like that panel in number 1 where Santa is feeling Arisha's twins kicking, and it's just gorgeous. And when I got that panel, I was just, and there are panels that are coming up in the next issues that made me laugh out loud when I saw them. They were, yeah. It's just like
Mm.
and it's such a moment we've all had, right? I mean, most of us have had a family member who's pregnant and they're like, do you want to feel? And like, I remember when I was pregnant, like the first time my kiddo kicked, right? It's like being an alien. I mean, if you've ever watched Alien or Aliens, right? Like everyone's just like, oh, there's a thing living in me. And like, I was sitting there and my husband was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I think I'm getting kicked. And he felt, and he was like, oh, that's so weird, right? And we started laughing because we're weirdos, we're nerds. And
Yeah.
so it's just such a great connection like that, like to have like a family member who you love and you care for, and maybe you haven't seen in a while, and then you're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be a mom. Like that's, and so it's just kind of like, it was just such a beautiful panel that I love it.
Yep. Oh God, I think I was far too old before I ever saw a friend who is pregnant. Like I mean, most of my friends are guys. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? But I remember I was hanging out over at a friend's house. He and his wife were pregnant, and we were just talking. And I looked over, and all of a sudden, like her belly like moved, and I was not gonna lie, I was so grossed out. I was like, oh, because of Alien. I was like, wait, it actually your stomach moves, and they were both like, yeah. I mean, there's something. I was like, I don't know. I thought there was like a bowl of
Oh,
concrete or something must manifest in there because
those last few weeks as well, like when the baby, like, because there's a point where the baby's like upside and they have to shift around.
Yep.
And I would lay in bed at night and I just couldn't sleep. And my husband would wake up. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Look at it." And you would just see the movement. He's like, "Oh, Jesus." Oh my God. So he was also grossed out. So that's also an appropriate reaction.
Okay.
But like, yeah. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, and that's the great thing about pregnancy, right? Like these moments in our life create so many different reactions. And so it's just
Yep.
like being able to like show the gamut of that is just it's really nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I mean, honestly, as a parent myself, I'm going to assume that one day I will have grandchildren. I don't know anything before 4 years old. That was like our son was
Yeah.
the youngest came when he was 4. So I kind of can't wait to experience all of these things. Like to this day, I don't want to hold a newborn. I'm freaked out that I will like drop it and
I'm gonna be honest. Everything kind of sucks before 4 years old. Like, I know people love babies, but I'm the same way. I'm like, ew, like especially little babies. I'm like, no, thank you. And then like, do you want to hold her? I'm like, I do not. I will run around the playground with them when they're older, but
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, and even when mine was younger, it was kind of like, I love you, but I wish you could talk. I love you, but I wish you could walk.
Oh.
Like,
4 years old was a little young for me. I had no idea before Michael came that 4 was still a toddler. I don't know what we were like. Our first son was 7. So that was like my baseline. And Jack was also, and still to this day, he's great at advocating for himself. He's like, was on top of it, right? He was a very mature 7-year-old. And then Michael came and was like, oh my God. I mean, he also knew only like 20 words at that moment. And like he had not been speaking for very long.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh God, this is really young. And
it's hard. It's really hard.
I mean, I loved him.
Yeah.
Can you hurry up and get older? Yeah, and now, now he's going to be 9 on Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, I will take 9-year-old version of Michael. Please. My little old man who is articulate and great. And it's much easier. So I agree. I love.
I mean, like I also, I write for older kids. I don't write a lot of picture books and stuff like that. But also, my kiddo is 15 and is getting ready to start, learning how to drive, and I love them even more now than I did when they were little. Like it's like every year, it's for me is better. Like, and so I think that's, I always feel sad for people who were like, oh, I miss when they were little, and I'm like, oh, I wish you could enjoy them now because you're never going to get that back. So I think it's always about enjoying your time with your children when what you have at the moment.
100%. And now we get we're gonna get a whole adventure. Is this family gonna stick together in all these books?
I would like to. I have no idea what the future holds, right? I do know for the rest of the arc you will see Arisha and Mavera and Grammy Thea and maybe some new family members popping in and out, because it's a big messy family, and I think the best families are big and messy, or sometimes they're not. They're small and messy, but family is always messy, right? Lots of different feelings, lots of different goals. And I think it's really when you live in the galaxy and you're a scoundrel, it's only compounded.
I love that. And we don't get a lot of that in Star Wars. We get a lot of broken
Dysfunction.
families and found family. Yeah, we get a lot of found families, but blood families we don't get a ton of in Star Wars. So that's going to be kind of fun. Hopefully, you know, from my point of view, found families are just as real and just as everything else as a bio family. So I do like to. I'm looking forward to reading that in Star Wars, so people can see that they're all kind of we're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, that's always very 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 important to me as a found family person. To I think one of the things that I really do not like, and I try to always acknowledge that it comes from a place of well intention. So I try not to be offended, but people look, oh, they're like real brothers, and
Oh yeah, no,
I
that's
don't like it at all. Like, okay,
I mean,
well,
like full disclosure, my best friend Tessa's my best friend. I am definitely closer to her and call her a sister before my sister who I don't talk to. So
yep.
like you know what I mean. So like sometimes you got to switch out the family. You're like, ooh, this ain't working. So
Uh-huh.
and I think
Yeah, I have one family member left that
yeah.
I speak to, so I understand.
It just like not everybody comes from, and that's also why I want to give Santa this big, messy, loving family, just because I do feel like I grew up I still talk to my mother, but my father was very abusive. Was an alcoholic, probably still is an alcoholic. And so it's one of those things. It's like I always want to give my characters sometimes things I didn't get to have, just because it is nice to be able to like imagine that for somebody. And
Yep.
so even though Santa has had like kind of a hard adult life, right? She's been in a lot of capers and, she's very busy. She's got to be tired. Like, she's got to be exhausted just dealing with Afra. And so like, we want to give her like big, loving, messy family so that we know that there is something for her to fall back to. She'll always have a place to land. And I think it's important for characters to have a place to land. I think too often we give our characters like no quarter. And then it's like, it's very lonely. Like I don't like the chosen one, like mythology very much, because I don't think you get a chosen one, you get a chosen team. Like you get the people who choose, right? And I think that's anyway.
Oh, you know what? I think you mentioned that. I think we talked about that a little bit last time we were hanging out. And I agree with you 100%. It's one of the things I love about Rey Skywalker is I understand I get Team Rey, no one or whatever. But like when she takes the name Rey Skywalker, for me, I always took it as the word Skywalker meant something to the galaxy. And I feel like she was giving that to everybody else, to give everybody else the hope in a moment when it looked like we were hopeless again.
Yeah.
And so for me, I took that as her saying, like, the team, like, we're all here together and we can be anyone we want to be, including a Skywalker. That was the way I took that. I found it to be very beautiful. So I love that. I love that idea. I also love the idea that at the end of this, Santa can maybe fall back into loving arms of Afra.
No
Darn
spoilers.
Darn it! I tried. I was going to try to get you teary-eyed with some Rey Skywalker and then have a slip. Darn it. Okay, I want to ask a few rapid-fire questions from some of our esteemed queens, our patrons, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I picked some of these because there was a lot. So these were some of the ones that I love the most. What is your most overused or favorite word?
Oh, it depends on the week, I think. It does. Like for a while, untenable. I was seeing untenable all the time. My husband was like, "What's with this untenable?" Like YOLO was it for a while. If I'm writing, it's usually that or just and still.
Oh.
I usually go through and take them all out of the draft because they're everywhere. But yeah, I think I'm trying to think. I mean like dude. I use a lot of dude. Especially when I'm yelling at my kid, I'm like, dude, like. So I mean, I grew up in California in the '80s, so like the guy got terrible, and then I was in the army for a while, so like it's just everything's a mess. Lived in the South for a while, so like, I'll say fixin'. So like, yeah, so like I do think I think it depends whether it's written or if it's in person. But sometimes things will fly in my mouth, and my husband's like, "Where did that come from?" I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm a magpie when it comes to vocab. So
The fixin'. Okay, when I was 18, I grew up in Arizona. I'm back in Arizona now, but I grew up in Mesa, which was a very at the time a very large Mormon population.
yeah, I know, man.
So okay, so religion was surrounded me a lot, right? So I needed to get up out of here and come out, and I didn't know how to come out, so I moved to Texas. Why I chose Texas, I don't know, but that's where I went, so I could just be gay, and I never had to come out.
Yeah.
Which I guess was coming out, but 18-year-old me was like, oh, whatever.
Texas, you're like, I'm gonna go to Texas and be gay. Like that, like you could have gone to California and been gay.
Nope,
Probably like,
I guess.
I'll make it hard. Like I'm gonna go to Texas.
I like a challenge. That's why I jumped into Star Wars Twitter and let's have a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, like why not?
That's easy. Everyone's so nice. So I remember I had never heard the word fixin', but in Texas, and I was working at Target at the time, so I had transferred to this other Target, and this woman came up to me and asked where the buggies were. I had no idea what a buggy was.
Yeah.
And I was like, a buggy? She's like, yeah, the things roll. So I was like, oh, they're over there, and I pointed to like the baby section, thinking she needed like a stroller. And this woman came back, and she was livid, like she was so angry with me, and I was like, it's a buggy. And she called the manager came over, and they're like, a buggy. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I don't think anyone believed me, but every time I think of Southern words, I think of a buggy, and the fact that 18-year-old Brian like was getting yelled at by probably some 40 or 50-year-old woman who
It's just very mad.
I was like, oh God.
How
would you be?
I went through the buggy thing. We lived in Savannah for a while, and I was like, buggy? But yeah, no. So go ahead. Next question.
I was like, oh, I was 18. I looked like I was 12. Could you just like have given me a break? What's your favorite comic book?
It changes. I love Saga. I think probably it might be. I also love Wicked and Divine. I have the entire run of that, even the little one-offs. Right now I'm reading a lot of manga, just because I have a low threshold for bullshit when it comes to comic books, and I think there are still a lot of creators who like haven't kind of moved forward with the times. So like if I read a comic and the art feels like a caricature of like a black person instead of like an actual black person, it's out. If I read a comic and there's not a single person of color, I'm out. And so like I just don't, and if there's no queer people, I'm out, right? Like, and so like that's one of the reasons I love Divine, because it's so inclusive and the artwork is beautiful. But I also liked Monstrous by Marjorie Liu. And a lot of these are older ones, because I have honestly switched to manga because my kiddo loves manga, so I'm like, I want to read what they're reading. But so far I've read Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen, Undead Unluck. I think right now my favorite would probably be Spy Family. I think Spy Family is just so sweet and adorable, and it's great. Read Blue Period, but I'm not like a super artsy person, so it's kind of like felt a little flat for me. They like it a lot more. They're artsy, so yeah. But yeah, so like I read a lot, and usually I'll go and see what's popular, and then see what isn't popular and pick that up, because I do some. I mean, like in manga, you can't flip through because they're usually sealed up in the plastic bags, which good on them.
Yep.
But I do read a lot of reviews. I read like issue 1 of Fire Punch, and it was awful. Like it was just violence for violence sake. There was no story behind it, and I was like, this is unnecessary and doesn't forward any of these characters or any of the story. And so I literally jumped in the trash can at the Charlotte airport. Like it was so bad. I read it on a flight, and that's the other reason I like manga, because I can usually read it on a flight, and then I can give it to somebody else if I don't. I try not to keep too many books, just because I could be a hoarder if I did, and I already have plenty of books. So.
I have to be careful. I think, is that also a nerd thing?
I don't know.
Culture of like, we got
because I was a kid who didn't have books. I lived in like a travel trailer when I was growing up, so I didn't have stuff.
Okay.
There's no place to put the stuff, and I spent a lot of time at the library. And so the worst thing was like when you took a book back to the library and then you wanted to reread it and it was never in the library, right? Because like, this was the 80s. We didn't have like reserve a book
Yep.
kind of thing. And so I that's for me is where it comes from. It's just like, if I think I might want to reread a book, but usually I reread so few books now as an adult that I usually try to give them away and find new homes from.
That's
Little free
great.
libraries. I love little free libraries. I take all the Bibles out and put the new books in. Like nobody needs 18 Bibles. Like it's the Bible. Like you can get it in the hotel when you stay at a hotel, right? You don't need 18 of them. So yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything. What's it like writing stories and characters across other books and with other writers? I'm assuming this is comics and probably
Yeah.
they're probably the High Republic is probably what they're referring to.
It's good. For me, it's always about respecting what the other creators want to do with that character. So if I am using a character that's coming someplace else, or that somebody else is using, like in the High Republic, I always like send a note if it's like Claudia or Cav or anything like, hey, I want to use this character. When Cav and I wrote the Starlight stories with Velko and Gal and all of them, like we communicated like what we wanted the character to do very clearly, because I do think you have to be upfront with folks. I do think when you're writing in kind of a shared galaxy or shared universe, you don't want to go too far off the map, because it's really easy to eat someone else's lunch. And what I mean by that is like giving a character a beat or an arc or a moment that undermines other storytelling that somebody wants to do later. So it's really about having that open communication, so that when you are like, hey, I'm going to have this character do this, does that ruin anything else you want to do with the character? They can be like, well, actually, that's the linchpin moment in this thing I'm writing right now. Like, let me find something else, right? So that's all. I think it's just about communication. I think so much in the world is just about communication. If you can talk to people and have a semi-thick skin and have a conversation, you're fine. I think if you're very sensitive, shared galaxies probably are not for you.
Yep. Isn't that life in general? Tom and I talk about that a lot. Like we are at a juncture, I think, in society that, again, I think the intentions might have started off well somewhere, but it's been lost, that we are afraid to have honest conversations, and people think a non-agreement means a lack of support. And I don't think that's I don't think that's healthy because
look, I'm not
change does not come without confrontation.
Yeah, I'm not a Christian, but I love
happen.
Jesus. I think Jesus is an awesome person.
Yep.
I think I love all that behind it, but I'm still not gonna, show up at church on Sunday. And so I think that's one of those things, being able to say like, look, I get what you're coming from. As long as your opinion isn't about hurting somebody else or taking rights or something away from somebody else, you can do whatever. That's I think that's one of those things. It's like we have to realize that we're not all going to agree, and that doesn't mean that we go to a flame war and obviously Padme's the best character ever, right? And like, oh, you're wrong, it's Rey, and then everybody's mad. It's like, okay, yeah, you can like that character. I personally like Jyn Erso. Like that's like, it's everybody has something different, and I think that makes life interesting. But we also have to realize that not everything's like a fight to the death. Like, I don't want to die on every hill, right? And at this point, I'm just like, if somebody says something I don't agree with, I'm like, cool, and I just walk away. I walk away a lot.
Me too. I probably have 2 or 3 hills that I feel like I would die on, and I think everyone would be happier and healthier if they realized that. Like, you can have an opinion on something, on anything and everything, but maybe you don't need to have an equal weight opinion on everything.
And sometimes that opinion is just for you and your 3 friends you see in person, right? Sometimes you just need to keep it to yourself, and that's fine. Shutting up is free. Like,
yeah,
like, cost you nothing.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my God, shutting up is free. I think that's gonna be the name of this episode. Love it. Well, now we'll have pink rays coming out of your mouth.
I
know. Okay, here is one outside of Star Wars, and circling back to Dread Nation and Deathless Divide. Someone would like to know when we're going to hear from Jane McKean and Catherine Devereaux again.
Who knows? I have no third book planned, but I've always said that if a TV show gets made or a movie gets made, I would write a third book, just because I'll need to, like, Game of Thrones proof whatever they're Because I know that whatever, like I've seen enough things get adapted and get adapted in a way that kind of goes off into left field that I'm like, I need to be able to hedge my bets if I need to and give everybody the ending that I want them to have and not whatever,
Yep.
some
Oh,
exec at HBO or Paramount decides to do.
man.
So yeah, so that's the answer to that. Like there will be no third book, but if there's a TV show, look for a third book. So
Love it. Love it.
especially if the,
Oh.
especially if the TV show's a mess. So
Oh, that poor Game of Thrones.
yeah.
My God. Like I know it's allegedly good, but I had no interest in House of Dragons after that. Anyone who's
No.
like, should I still watch Game of Thrones? Nope. Not now that I know how it ends. It like I can't even.
I
Nope.
yeah, I got to once they like I liked the books okay. Like I mean they were
Yeah.
an investment in time. Um but at the time I had time to read like that at that level. But then I got to the like halfway through season 2 and I was like, I'm done. There's like a lot of rape. Like there was like so much rape. It was like the weekly rape. And I was like, I'm like, if you want sex is fine. If you want violence, I'm good with
Yep.
that. But like all of this, just like so much of it. And like I was just like, I'm kind of done. But you do have to feel kind of
Mhm.
bad for George R.R. Martin, right? Because he's like trying to write this last book, and like everybody's mad at the TV show, so now he's like, I gotta make it extra good.
Yep.
I gotta write 2
Oh my
pages a
God,
day
for
instead of
real.
1. So yeah.
For real. Okay. My final question comes from my husband Tom. So please save this possible anger for him, not me. I'm just the messenger, and I have a ring, so I feel obligated to ask this question. We were recording an episode a few weeks ago, and Tom had this idea that maybe Padme was the true villain of all of Star Wars. And just didn't want to be a mother, so she faked her death and left her children. Which I take grave offense to
Oh, that
because
is
I
very
idolize Padme. But he would like to know if you could possibly make that happen for him.
so my head canon with Padme is so completely different. Um
Thank God.
yeah, it's very funny. It's like it's just a long game. Like she said, you know what though? Like who knows? Like there might be a new trilogy and like evil Padme shows up and talks to Rey and is like, I'm alive. I've been alive the whole time here on Exegol.
Okay, if that happens, no tea, no shade, but also maybe a lot of tea and a lot of shade.
So much tea and so much shade. No, I'm
Please do not give Padme shark teeth, because that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm just here to ruin the galaxy. No, I'm not a huge Padme fan. Obviously like I was an adult when the prequel trilogy came out, but I do appreciate that people do love Padme.
Yeah.
I just never bought the Padme Anakin romance, and I still to this day kind of don't. I know I'm so much hate mail is coming to me, and so I'm always just kind of when people are like, Padme, I'm always like, dude, if you want Padme, Kate Johnson has done such a lovely job with those books, and let EK handle that. I think there's some characters are just not for you, and I think Padme is like not a character I would write. It's not a character I would touch because it's just not in my wheelhouse. Just because that's not my brain does not glom on that kind of thing. Give me like a Jyn Erso, or you give me like a Santa Starros, or you give me like even like a Qi'ra, and I'm like, yes, I can do something with that character. Like these are characters who I'm like, yes, like give me an Enfys Nest, right? Like give me that kind of stuff. Like I can like tear that stuff up. But like a Padme, I'm just like, no, it's she's such a quiet character until she's not, right? She spends a lot of time just in scenes, and then like finally doing something in like the last third of the movie. And so like I just feel like it's better for authors who are better at writing those kind of characters, and EK is definitely much better at those kind of characters.
Yeah. Oh, those books are great.
Yeah.
They really are. Yeah, I think I just go to school of George Lucas, and like I truly deeply love you is like I think I'm a Team George, if that's the most romantic thing I've ever heard. And maybe somewhere in Star Wars that makes sense. It probably wouldn't make sense anywhere else, but in that world, it works. Yeah. And I buy into all of it, hook, line, and sinker. Yes, there's some problematic scenes, I guess, but Sometimes.
I'm so mad that I'm so mad that like childbirth is like a death sentence so many times in Star Wars, and I'm like,
Okay,
just
well, headcanon, nope, he killed her. That's what happened. It was like the one time Palpatine was honest,
yeah.
but that lost the will to live. You know what? That was not
I have a
good.
headcanon about that, but it's not something for public consumption. So one day, if we're in person, I will tell you about it.
Okay. Okay. Are you looking forward to Star Wars London?
I am not going.
Oh, you're not.
No,
Okay.
no. So that one of the things like for me is especially coming out of the pandemic was really kind of focusing on my work life balance. And that
Yep.
weekend is like Easter weekend, and we don't celebrate Easter, but it's always a time we spend with family. And so I'm going to be spending my time with family. We're gonna,
Aw.
yeah, and so I will not be there. I've already told poor Mike, and he was just like, "But the team's going to be there." So yeah, so you guys will all have to have fun without me, but I will
That's
see
awesome.
you some other show in the future.
Hopefully it'll come back. I'm not
I'm sure there'll be another celebration or the New York Comic Con. I usually do New York Comic Con because I'm on the East Coast and it's a train ride away. It's not that far from New York, so
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you one oh, you know what? I lied. I'm going to ask you one more question
Mhm.
for me because the Young Jedi Adventures was just announced. Have you seen any of those cartoons? Are you excited for a High Republic cartoon?
Yes, I'm very excited. Um, we got to see stills of it when we were doing our kind of our phase 3 story breaking stuff this time last year, and as soon as I saw the little blue guy, I was like, "Is that an Ewok? You told me I couldn't have an Ewok with a lightsaber."
Yeah, and he's not an Ewok.
Ewok, but he's adorable, and I'm really excited. I'm actually really excited because I do think one of the things about writing the kids' books is you would think from looking at the Star Wars fandom that there are no kid fans, and if that's true, that's very depressing because that means in like 20 years there will be no Star Wars, right? You have to bring new
Mhm.
people into the fandom. That's why we don't want to gatekeep fandom, right? We want to say Star Wars is for
Yep.
everybody because the more people we have enjoying the fandom, the more stuff we get to enjoy. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, we live in capitalism. That's how it works. And so
Yep.
I'm really excited for this because I am excited for a way to get younger kids into Star Wars. For me, my kiddo got to see The Force Awakens. They were like 7 or 8 when that came out. And
Oh,
so for them, they were
prime
like,
time.
yeah. And then they were like, oh my God, Star Wars, I love it. So that's their trilogy. So I'm really excited for this kind of thing to come out. I'm also excited for the Acolyte because I do Star Wars. I haven't watched Andor yet because I'm saving it because I want to be able to sit down and watch the entire thing straight through, and I just haven't had time. But
Yep.
don't make faces. Don't like Rogue One is literally my favorite movie just because I feel like
I remember that.
yeah, it's so emotionally for me. It's the emotional resonance, right? I loved the original trilogy growing up. Like I watched it with like friends, but I wasn't an adult when I watched it, and so my emotions with that are a child's emotions when I watch it. It's not like
Yep.
an adult's kind of yeah. So yeah.
I would advise you to watch something that truly makes you happy immediately after Andor. Andor is amazing,
The
but
Rogue One, right?
yeah. Andor is amazing. It's amazing. Acolyte also, I can't wait. We just did an episode on Blade Runner, which is not Star Wars,
Yeah.
obviously, but I love Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite things. And while we were talking about it, because I think it is a very queer film, and so we were doing lots of queer coding with it, and someone in the comments typed in there saying, "I love it when a film is straight passing." And I feel like Acolyte is just going to be a very straight passing show, but it's really just going to be very, very gay.
Oh,
And
it's
I'm very
funny you
excited.
say that. Literally, I just watched my husband and I just rewatched Top Gun, and I'm like, how did anybody not get how queer this movie is? Like, this movie is so gay. Like, I love it. Like, it's literally the gayest thing. And I'm like, anyway, if you have not watched Top Gun,
I'm so excited.
the volleyball scene alone is like, it's just amazing. It's just so great.
I don't know anything about actors in real life. Like I am not interested in the real
Yeah.
life stuff. I just like to pretend the characters are real. So I feel like Mr. Fantastic, because I don't know his name. I feel like maybe the news magazines at the grocery store aisle, so we know that's legit, have told me that he's not very nice, but that man is very handsome.
Mr.
I don't know.
Oh,
from the bad Fantastic Four movie. The guy that was playing the piano with the little mustache from Top Gun. I don't
Anthony
know.
Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins?
No,
No,
the mm, are we talking about the new one or the old one?
the old one, not the new one. I have no.
Oh,
Look,
oh,
I
okay.
was
Well,
in the
then
military. No
the
one.
old one.
Yeah, the old one. Wait, so who? Like, I don't know. I have not seen the new one because I don't
Okay.
buy a 60-year-old test pilot. Full stop. Like, at the age of 40 in the military, you're like a grandpa. So like, no one's calling somebody in their 60s to come back and fly shit. So like,
Yeah.
I couldn't even get past that. I know
Okay.
somebody's gonna be like, "How
Yeah.
could you hate Top Gun, the new Top Gun?" So I was talking about the OG Top Gun.
Okay. No, the OG Top Gun is also very
Yeah,
gay.
very gay, incredibly gay. But yeah, no,
The
I've
new
not
one is
seen
very
it.
gay too.
Is it? So I might have to go watch
hmm
it now because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was in the barber shop and he had it on, and I watched like the first 2 scenes. I was like, "Nah, man, nah."
It
Like, this man is.
it wasn't for me.
Yeah, not for me.
It wasn't for me either. But anyways, the new guy in that movie who played Mr. Fantastic is very. I like to watch it just for him because I am that person.
He's terrible, huh?
I think so. I don't know.
Everyone's
I don't know.
terrible. Everyone's
Right.
we just
Right.
haven't just hasn't caught up with us yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I love that this new show is coming out. I feel like it's been I like the new Star Wars little cute things with the animals, but like a full-fledged show. And like my youngest son is another Star Wars super fan. He loves it. Um but he was a big fan of Puppy Dog Pals, which I guess the creator of this show also did that show.
Oh,
And Puppy Dog Pals is adorable. So like if there's that kind of energy coming into this show, I am so stoked.
do you watch Bluey with your kids?
Yes.
My
Yes.
Kino and I are watching Bluey right now, and like literally one of the best shows on television. I don't know what it is. Like, I know it's supposed to be like for little kids, but my kid is 15 and we'll sit and watch it and cry. It's amazing. It's just so great.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really, honest to God, it really, really is. Like there is this whole like I feel like this resurgence. Well, Bluey's been around for 2 years, so this is today.
I'm late,
So,
I'm
but
late
there's
to
another.
I'm late to every
Okay.
party. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's this like new adult fandom coming to Bluey.
Good.
You know what? That after you watch Andor, do a rewatch of Bluey.
Real joy.
Because Bluey may make you cry, but it still makes you like hopeful.
Oh yeah.
And
Andor is like, here are all your hopes and
hopeless.
dreams, and they're ashes.
Yep. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful story. I think probably. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Okay, and here's my last question because you said something. Why can an Ewok not have a lightsaber?
I think it's a timeline. So like nobody like I think there's something about we don't get to see the Ewoks until Return of the Jedi.
Till Jedi.
So yeah, so we can't have High Republic Ewok Jedi. But I'm like, maybe there's that one intrepid Ewok who like managed to get off planet and whatever.
Yeah,
the galaxy's a big place. Just make up a new species.
I guess so, but there's not enough Ewok representation.
I want to have Rey's School of Jedi, and I want to have an Ewok. Like,
yeah.
Yum no.
Oh my God! You know what? Okay, you already changed the game with a lightsaber whip.
Yes.
So you need someone at Lucasfilm. Justina's in your mob. Send her an email.
Yeah.
We need Jedi school. Can we get some sort of, remember Wicket with his little throwing rock things? Like, let's have like lightsaber throwing rocks.
Yes. Lightsaber.
That's what I want.
Lightsaber slingshot.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Oh my God, and Ezra can come back. He can come back and he can be the slingshot expert.
It'd be perfect.
I love it. Okay, I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. This was lovely. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for making Pink Milk canon. It's mind-boggling and exciting, so I apprate it.
You get no royalties.
No. The only thing I said is
none of us got paid for it, but
we need to get Pink Milk now at the Disneyland parks. Also make it Smurfs.
Yeah.
So Justina and I can enjoy it. The one thing I will ask is for Lucasfilm Disney to just fly me to Disneyland just to sample. That's it. Family of 5. And my co-host. That's fair, right? I think they can afford it, probably.
Oh.
Probably.
$8 for
Do
a
you have
churro.
any?
They can afford it.
Oh my god, no shit. We just went to Disneyland last year for the first time ever.
Oh, fun.
After day one, it was not the happiest place on earth. Well, I don't know. Like, there's this weird. I really do think there's something that they pump in the air because Tom and I were miserable the entire time. It was overwhelming. It was a lot,
It's
and
overwhelming.
we're like,
The
we will
kids are
never go
burnt
back.
out. Yeah, the kids are like, by
Yeah.
the end of the day, kids are just like melting down.
Yep.
It's like, yeah. We went,
And my husband and I are cheap.
yeah.
So we were getting there at 8 a.m. and we were leaving at midnight. Like, we are
Yeah,
going to get
the whole time.
our pennies.
Same.
But now we want to go back.
Yeah, we've done the same thing. We get in line for every character meet and greet. Pictures.
You will enjoy this. It's gonna be great.
We'll have fun.
Like, yep, we just created that family memory on that vacation. Remember that time we went to Disneyland and our dads were just ticked off the whole time? Like,
Yeah,
yep,
the whole time.
that's what we just did.
Get in line for Twister Toes ride. I've been there.
Is there anything you're working on that you can tell us about?
So
Before
I have
we
a
go.
book. I have a high fantasy book with not Star Wars coming out with Tessa at the end of March called Chaos and
Oh.
Flame. So the pre-orders are open for that, and I think that's it. I'm trying to I'm trying to arc down my workload a little bit because I've been really writing a lot of stuff the last couple of years. So I think that's
Good for
the
you.
only thing I have out this year. I mean, I'm still working, but like for that's the only stuff that's been announced so far. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
for you. A little less traveling that way, probably too, right?
Yeah, a little more time with the fam. So it's always
Love
nice.
it. Love it. That's important. Where can people find you since you're not on Twitter anymore? Are
I
you
am
still on TikTok and Instagram?
I'm on TikTok. I think it's Justina.Ireland, and then Instagram is Justina.Ireland. And you can always find me on my website. You can, go to my contact page, leave I love your books, or go die in a fiery pit, whatever your druthers are.
Not the latter. Not the latter. Let's not do that. Remember, shutting up is free. We
Yeah,
learned that
exactly.
here, so you don't need to say anything.
Don't have to say anything.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Star Wars thanks you. Thank you for the High Republic and making us queer folk and all sorts of other underrepresented people feel like we're part of the galaxy. All of you
Oh,
have
awesome.
been so wonderful with that.
Thank
So
you. Star
we
Wars is for
appreciate you.
everybody. Still believe that.
100%. All right. So, until I don't know, next time. Maybe hopefully there'll be a next time.
There'll be a phase 3. So.
And I'm back. Justina, thank you again for hanging out with me on an early Saturday morning. And we had such a lovely conversation, as you just heard. Isn't she just the best? I can't wait for phase 3 because you heard it at the very end. I think she's willing to come back again. That would be 3 times. 3 times. Great. Love her. Appreciate it. You know what else I appreciate? Manscaped. Because they sponsored our episode and they've been sponsoring several episodes. So thank you, Manscaped. And also thank you, Manscaped, for if I was still single and going out on dates, for the people that I would see who were well groomed. Or the people that I was going to see would be like, thank you, Manscaped. Brian has been well groomed. You know why Brian was well groomed? Because of the beard hedger. The beard hedger cleaned up this man's stash, this daddy stash. Not a dirty van stash, but a daddy stash. And if I do say so myself, if I'm looking in the camera right, it's looking pretty good right now. You know why? Because I put some beard conditioner in it. And then I also went ahead and had a little sun spy on me in the background. You know why it looks so good? Because I put a little beard conditioner in it. And then I had a little bit of beard oil that was in my Beard Hedger 4.0 Premier Pack. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it for anyone who wants to trim down their facial hair, whether it's a big old burly bear beard, which if you have one of those big burly bear beards and you use the beard hedger to help maintain it, you are more than welcome to slide into my DMs a little picture pic because I quite enjoy those. Or if you have a very well groomed manicured beard like my husband, send me those too, even though, sorry, no one's going to look quite as good as Tom Barry does because he is very HAWT hot. Anyways, if you want to look as hot as Tom, head on over to manscaped.com. Use our code PINKBALLS to save yourself 20% off your order and free shipping from anything and everything from that fantastic website. And until next time, later this week, next week, whenever I'm going to see your beautiful faces again, you can follow me and the show at Serving Pink Milk on Twitter and Instagram. And until next time, let's do it one more time.